Up with KREM begins now.
Right now on Up with KREM, Johnson & Johnson's single-dose COVID-19 vaccine is approved for emergency use. Up ahead, what that means for the vaccine supply here in the U.S. Plus, you may have seen these photos spreading online. It's from a high school right here in Washington State. This morning, how those little tents work and the reaction they're receiving online.
And we're taking you outside. The first day of school for many. Temps in the mid-30s now, but downright balmy later on.
Students are coming back. It's awesome. Guess what, Riley? Kids are coming back. Yay! Kids are coming back. Woo!
What? Students are coming back?
Yes! Woo-hoo! Yeah! Yeah!
Well, today all remaining students will resume in-person instruction at Spokane Public Schools. It comes nearly after 1 year of distance learning. North Central High School teachers and staff could not be more excited. They created this video to welcome back their students and share the good news. Everyone's looking forward to that. How fun. Well, it's 7:01 here. Great to have you with us here on Up with KREM. And Jeremy, I know it's a big day, especially in the weather department. First day of meteorological spring, but also a lot of people and kids getting ready to go on the school bus again for the first time or walk to school again for the first time in a year. So that weather forecast, very important this morning.
Oh, absolutely. And Jen, you know, part of being a kid, for some crazy reason, is trying to say that it's not as cold outside as it is. Oh, listen, it's cold. Mid-30s is kind of cold as you head out the door early on this morning. So bundle up. But by this afternoon, you don't have to lie. You don't have to say you're warm because it will actually be warm. We're sitting comfortably at 36 degrees right now. And you look around, you see a little bit of cloud cover there. But if I look straight up overhead, it's blue skies. So it's a mix of clouds and sun. We do have some of those clouds, but you are going to catch a few breaks in those clouds around the inland Northwest. And that includes us here in Spokane. And see that 28 there in Coeur d'Alene? That was because you had clear skies overnight, and that allowed your temps to drop. Now you have some of those clouds moving in, and we are going to see those clouds move through, but then more work their way in. So it's one of those days where we'll call it a mix of clouds and sun or partly sunny skies. Overnight, we'll see a little moisture move through. All of that sticks to higher elevations. We don't have anything to worry about down here in the lower elevations. And tomorrow, it's another day of a mix of clouds and sun. Tomorrow's a little cooler than today. Slightly, but temperatures will still be above where they should be this time of year. And today, that's right, some kids might call that shorts weather. I personally do not, but 50 degrees is in the forecast later today.
Jeremy, thank you. 36 degrees, as he mentioned this morning. So bundle up if you're headed to the first day of school here in Spokane. Middle and high school students will return to class after nearly 1 year of online learning. Joshua Robinson is joining us live this morning from North Central High School. Joshua, I imagine school is expected to get underway here in the near future.
Coming through. I've seen a handful of students making their way towards the building here this morning, and even behind those masks you can see plenty of people smiling to get back. Of course, we want to let drivers know one last reminder before you come around this area. This will become an active school zone, so from 9 to 2:55 middle schools will be in session today for Spokane Public Schools, and for high schools it'll be 8 to 1:55. So just be mindful as you are in these areas throughout the day, throughout the morning this morning, something we haven't seen in a little while. Of course, one other thing to be aware of now, talking to the students and the parents of the students, those classrooms are going to look very different once you actually get inside of the classroom today. Of course, we were able to reach out and see what it could look like, getting some other video this morning of what it could look like with desks now, of course, providing for that room for social distance learning. 6 feet apart. You can also see the hallways have markers that show the ways in which you walk through the hallways, all to kind of keep students safe during this process. Of course, one other issue students have to worry about is that health check, which has to be taken at least 30 minutes before you enter the building. Of course, that's something that we're ticking down to right now here in our 7 o'clock hour. We're less than a half hour away from that deadline in which you need to get it checked before you can go into the door. Of course, there will be a number of cleaning processes in place as well, getting all of the commonly touched areas cleaned, making sure to encourage staff and students to wash their hands as frequently as they can throughout the day. Of course, Anyone who shows any symptoms today will, of course, be sent home. But there is a lot of excitement for students and staff. Of course, we reached out to one student who could not hold back their excitement to get back into the classroom today.
I'm like super pumped to be able to see all my teachers in person, because some of them I've never met in person, so it'll be nice. I'm so excited to go back because my motivation will kind of grow back, because then I'm like in the class and I have to do the work.
And of course, one last little sign of encouragement for anybody that is coming to the site today. There's some kind of chalk messages on the ground outside of each of the entrance buildings saying, we welcome back. We can't wait to see you again. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being patient. We love you. So many signs of encouragement here for everyone to get back safely into the building. Of course, join us at 8 o'clock here on Up with KREM on the CW22. I will be talking to Principal Steve Fisk more about that process today and how they can propel into the future of keeping everyone safe here with Spokane Public Schools. But I'll send it back to you, Jen.
Joshua, thank you. Also this morning, students in the Central Valley School District are heading back to class. And that's where we find Dana Marie McNichol. She joins us live this morning from Selkirk Middle School. Hi, Dana Marie.
Hi, good morning, Jen. Well, it's still very, very quiet this morning. We're pretty much only one of 10 cars in the parking lot because students don't come until a little bit later, but they're getting ready for their first week of 2-day-a-week in-person classes. Now, before this Monday, they were just going to school in person 1 day a week, but now the Central Valley School District has shifted to 2 days, that A-B schedule. Now, the Spokane Public School District has a district-wide schedule, but principals here in the Central Valley School District can decide to create their own schedule. So this is what it looks like. Now we're taking a look at some video of Ponderosa Elementary earlier this year, but here at Selkirk Middle School, students will arrive at 8:30 this morning. There's 4 cohorts split into 2 groups. So one group will go in person Monday and Thursday. The other will go Tuesday and Friday, and then Wednesday is virtual for all students and teachers. All Central Valley District parents will be contacted directly from the school to pick up their child if they're exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms. Parents will also be notified when a student in their class has a COVID-19 symptom and is being tested. They will also be notified if their children have been in close contact with a student who has COVID or is being tested. Then those students will be asked to quarantine at home if necessary. Now, I did speak with the director of communications for this Central Valley School District earlier this morning, and she'd said that COVID-19 protocols are in place and they will continue.
This is the great thing about doing the phased-in plan, is we get our students and staff and everybody ready for more students coming back, because we have an attestation station. As students come in, they get their temperature checked either at the car or as they enter the building, turn in their attestation slip to say that they don't have any COVID symptoms, and then they go through the hallways. We have social distancing markers in place and cones to indicate that, and our students have been very, very cooperative.
Well, you're going to see that full interview here on Up with KREM at 8:30. But for now, reporting in Spokane, I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
Dana Marie, thank you so much. And of course, this morning we want to hear from you at home. What would you look forward to most if you had not been in school for the past year? You can tell us on Twitter or text us your thoughts at 509-448-2000. Well, this morning, the U.S. has now approved 3 COVID-19 vaccines. This morning, we want to get a live look in Kentucky. This is where the Johnson & Johnson vaccines are being packed and shipped. Don't see a lot of activity right now, but earlier we saw a few warehouse workers packing those boxes. Of course, this comes after this weekend. The Food and Drug Administration approved the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It only requires 1 dose and can be stored at room temperature. Leaders hope to deliver 20 million doses to the U.S. by the end of the month and 100 million more doses by the end of summer. Well, this week, the only vaccine appointments at the Spokane Arena will be for booster shots. The Washington Department of Health leaders are right now playing catch up. This is after winter weather delayed the shipment of vaccines. Now, if you're looking for another provider to make an appointment with for the vaccine, you can text the word vaccine to 509-448-2000. All right, still ahead here on Up with KREM, Idaho State Police are looking for witnesses of a fatal wreck in a Walmart parking lot. What we know about that investigation is coming up after the break.
And we're taking you outside on the first day of meteorological spring, talking about a warm forecast and temps soaring to highs we haven't seen since October.